Hello dear students, welcome to the class of Health and Physical Education, Unit 3 Physical Fitness, Wellness and Lifestyle. And today's topic which we are going to learn, that is components of physical fitness. I have written part 1 because components of physical fitness are strength, speed, flexibility, endurance and coordinative abilities. In part 1 we are going to cover only two of the topic, that is strength and speed. So let's start with the strength. So let's know the meaning of the strength. So strength is an ability of the muscle to overcome the resistance. So here it is the ability of our muscles to overcome any of the resistance. Resistance means any of the things which used to oppose any of the object. Either it may be any of the weight, it may be any of the object, lifting of the object or moving the object from its place. But to move this object or to lift the object, it requires the muscle's ability to overcome. That means that we require the muscle to exert the force to move the object from its place or to lift or any of the weight. It is essential component. It is one of the major components of the physical fitness. Now the another definition has been given according to the Burrow and McGee. They define that muscular strength as a capacity of the individual to exert the muscle force. It is the capacity of an individual, that how much an individual or a person can exert the force, either to move on of the object or to lift any of the object. It depends upon the capacity of an individual, because each and every individual are having different capacities and depends upon their muscular strength, that how much strength they are having, and they can exert that muscular force. According to the Matthew, defines that it is a force that a muscle or a group of muscle can exert against a resistance in one maximum effort. So Matthew tells that force that the muscle or a group of muscle, either a muscle or a group of muscle, can exert against the resistance. Any of the resistance, that means any of the object that is which is opposing or which is hindrance, which is being considered hindrance or opposing or opposites. In one maximum effort, we used to lift the object. For example, you have seen in the weightlifting, the weightlifter, they used to lift the object. There are the two different styles, that is two hand clear and jerk and two hand snatch. In the both, they used to apply the jerk wherever it has been applicable. So they used to put maximum effort to lift that object. So that object or that weight is considered as a resistance. So they used to have an exert against the resistance in one maximum effort. All of a sudden they used to lift the object. So everything depends upon the ability or the capacity of an individual's muscle to lift. That becomes a strength. So strength can also be defined as an amount of the force a muscle or a group of muscle can exert. Strength of the body can be measured in pounds or dynes. At a certain level of the strength is also essential for the common person, while for the sports person have the strength is a paramount importance. So for example, here they are telling us that a certain level of the strength is also essential for a common man. For us, for a our normal individual, they require the strength, but it is very much essential for the sports person to have the strength, because without the strength, they are not being able to perform any of the activities in a better way. So here they are for better understanding of the strength has been divided into two parts, that is dynamic strength and static strength. Let us see what is the dynamic strength means. So dynamic strength can be called as an isotonic strength because it has been related to the movement. The word dynamic means anything when it is in a motion, either our body when it is in a motion, and when our body is in a motion, and when strength is been applicable, it has been considered as a dynamic strength. So dynamic strength can be called as an isotonic strength. Isotonic, where you can apply the contraction and relaxation of the muscles. For example, pull-ups and push-ups, or you are having the lifting of the dumbbells and again having the normal position again. So these are the movements are being considered dynamic strength. So in pull-ups and push-ups, we require the dynamic strength. In performing such workout, there is a diminishing tendency in the dynamic strength. Why there is a diminishing tendency? For example, if you are applying the push-ups, you are having 2 to 3 push-ups with a good energy level. Then after what happens, your energy level used to diminish, your strength used to diminish. So that's why this dynamic strength is having a diminishing tendency in the dynamic strength. As a result, after some time, the muscle refuse to do the work. You will get fatigue and the muscle will not work anymore. At the juncture, the man is not able to do even one extra pull-ups or push-ups. in that situation. Hardly they can have a one more push-ups or pull-ups. For example, if any of the child is being told to have a push-ups, then definitely in push-ups they are being able to do 20. Those who are having good strength, muscular strength, they will be having 30. But then after 30, when they are going for 31, the strength used to reduce, the muscle used to reduce to do more push-ups. So that's why this dynamic strength is having a diminishing tendency. So as you do more and more, the muscles refuse to do the work and you may get fatigue very soon. So movement are clearly visible when someone uses the dynamic strength. Clear? For example, if any of the 100-meter sprinter, if he used to run for 100 meter and then after if they are being told to have the same strength to run more 300 meter or they used to apply for 400 meter, it will be not be possible for them. You can see, it is very clearly seen that they will not be able, their hands and their legs are not having a proper coordination because their muscles are refusing to run one more step to go further. So here the movements are clearly visible when someone uses dynamic strength. Dynamic strength is been divided into three different parts, that is maximum strength, explosive strength and strength endurance. So what does the maximum strength means? So maximum strength means what? The ability to work against the resistance. Any of the object, when it is an ability to work against the resistance, any of the opposing object, it is the ability of an individual to work against the resistance. For example, the starting phase of the sprinting. When you take a start, because you are in a stationary position, when the official, they used to, then the starter, they used to give on your mark, set, you are in a very stationary position. On your mark, that you used to take a position, but that position is considered stationary position. Then afterwards, you need to apply the maximum strength so that you can lift, you can move your body further for the run. So here in maximum strength, it is being told that usually it is being used in those sports which are very heavy resistance, have to be tackled. For example, in weightlifting, I have told you that two hand clear and jerk, all of a sudden two hand snatch, where it requires this maximum strength. Then in shot put, in hammer throw, all of a sudden you need to apply the jerk and you need to apply the strength. Maximum force your muscle need to be exerted during this maximum strength. So here it is, I have given an example of the starting phase of the sprinting. Take off in the jump, whatever, either it may be high jump or it may be a long jump, all of a sudden you need to take off. At that time, take off, you require a maximum strength. So in other sports, maximum strength is required for a short period of time. For example, cross position in Roman rings, in gymnastic, starting and acceleration phase of the sprinting. So that you require the maximum strength is been required for a very short period of time. Because all of a sudden, for example, in weightlifting, when you are having two hand clear and jerk, a very short movement is required to lift the object, to lift the weight. Then next we are having, that is considered an explosive strength. So explosive strength is an ability to overcome the resistance with high speed. Here all of a sudden it requires explosive strength. For example, it is being given in the jumps. Mostly you can see the picture on the side. The person is doing the broad jump. He requires the explosive strength in his legs. The leg calf muscle requires the explosive strength. With the help of lots of strength in the calf muscle, the person is being able to lift the body and move further. As well as the sprinting phase is also one of the good example of the explosive strength. For example, start of 100-meter run also require the explosive strength. Lifting any of the object, shot put, discus throw, these are the examples of explosive strength. So it is a combination of the strength and the speed ability. Combination of strength and speed. Here both the things used to work together. It requires speed also and strength also. For example, having a shot put, all of a sudden you take a position of the shot, then all of a sudden you take you require the strength also and you require the speed also to place the shot or to put the shot. So that is the ability which has been required. It has been considered an explosive strength. So explosive strength is generally used in the sprinting start, weightlifting, shot put, hammer throw, javelin throw, discus throw, long jump, high jump, triple jump and pole vault. It is also used in the endurance event, specifically in the start of the sprint phase it is above mentioned sports, this force is being applied just like an explosion all of a sudden, where it requires both the combination of both strength and speed. Where there is a combination of strength and speed, it becomes an explosive strength. Then then the third point we are having, that is C, that is strength endurance. The word endurance means the any of the activity which is used to work for a longer time period, that becomes a endurance. And strength endurance is a combination of strength and endurance ability both. So it is the ability to overcome the resistance or the act against the resistance. It is the ability of your muscle to overcome the resistance or act against the resistance under the condition of fatigue. Under the condition of fatigue, though you have got exhausted, you have got fatigue, then also you are going to perform the activity. For example, this strength, such types of strength has been required, for example, long run, in swimming, in cycling, in marathon race, in cross country. So these are the long distance race, swimming, road cycling. These are the events in which the strength endurance is required. Strength endurance is must. In order to play any of the activity which is for a longer time duration, strength endurance is must. A person must develop the strength endurance, then only he or she may be able to perform the activity or the game for a longer time durations. So it can be form a static or dynamic strength. So here it is being told that strength endurance can be defined as an ability to overcome the resistance or to act against the resistance under the condition of fatigue. Under the condition of fatigue, it is the muscles ability, or it is the ability to overcome any of the resistance or opposing any of the things. It has been considered strength endurance. Then next type of strength which we are having for dynamic, and second one is static. Static means a position where the person does not have any of the movement. That is, but then also the strength is being applied. So static strength is also called as an isometric strength. It is the ability of the muscle to act against the resistance. So here the ability of the muscle to act against the resistance is known as a strength. But in static strength is also the same definition, ability of the muscle to act against the resistance. Static strength can be measured by the dynamometer. So dynamometer is being used to check the strength, the static strength. For example, for the selection of the tug of war, or to check the strength of your muscle, dynamometer is being required. So with the help of the dynamometer, the person, they used to have a pull into that instrument, is a device is being there where it is being tied up to any of the pole, and the person is being applied to told to apply the force on that. Then afterwards what happens, they are having a static movement, then there is no movement. Then what happens, as your muscle used to get fatigue after a short duration of time, for example 30 seconds you can hold for a longer time, 30 seconds is too much. Then after what happened, after 30 seconds your strength used to reduce. So the static strength used to reduce as the time used to go on and on. So this type of strength is not seen directly, you can't see that strength, but strength is being applied. For example, a very good example of this static strength is in a tug of war. You have seen that the people that in a tug of war, when they used to have a rope in their hand, and when they used to lie down in the same position, but the strength is being applied by both the side, and you can see that there is no movement is being seen. So here it is, you can see in a picture, the very good example is being given for the static strength in Roman rings. These are the Roman rings which are being used in the gymnastic. The person is having the good strength in his arms, in his core muscle, in this, and you can see how the way he has lifted his body. It has not been easy, or it has not been possible for a normal individual to lift the body in this way. A very good gymnast, he is in a static position. The strength of his muscles is being applied, where he need to balance his body, he need to control his body in a straight aligned. You can see the shoulders are well aligned. So here the static strength is being applied to hold this position for a time period. So some static strength is not usually applied in the sports, but in weightlifting it is being applied in the phase. In some phase, after lifting the weight, the person, the athlete or the weightlifter, they used to lift the object for a seconds, but for holding that weight for a seconds is being considered as a static strength. So here also you can see in the picture a very good example of the static strength, where you can't see any of the movement, but he is holding the position but still the strength is being applied, still the muscle force is being applied to hold this position. That is being considered static strength. So static strength is also called as an isometric strength. It is the ability of the muscle to act against the resistance. Static strength can be measured by the dynamometer. So you can't see the movement directly. So these are the two types of strength, dynamic and static. Next component is considered as speed. So speed may be defined as an ability or the capacity of an individual to perform the movement of the same pattern at the faster rate. So speed means what? It is an ability or a capacity of an individual. It is a capacity of an individual to perform the same movement in the same pattern, and that also at a faster rate. You can see this is a very good example, a 100-meter run. You can see the athletes, they are aligned and they are having a 100-meter run. In this 100-meter dash, you can see the same pattern is being applied where the arms muscle, legs muscle are having well coordinated and they used to move in a continuous pattern, and that also at a faster rate. That is being considered as a speed. In fact, the speed is an ability to move the body at a as fast as possible, especially in running. So speed means what? It is the ability of the body to move the body as fast as possible, especially in running. Speed depends on the two types of muscle fiber. Now, what does the speed depends upon? The speed depends. It is one of the genetic. It is a biological factor where it is been considered. It is been inherited. For example, if your parents or if your parents are having the muscle fiber, depends upon the muscle fiber, because muscle fiber are of two types: fast twitch fibers and slow twitch fibers. Where fast twitch fibers are in white in colors or white fibers, and slow twitch fibers are red fibers. When you see the compositions of the muscle, it depends upon the two types of fiber. Those who are having more white fibers, they are having good speed, or they are having a very quick movement and fast movement. Whereas those who are having slow twitch fiber, they are in red in color, they are having slow movement, but they are being considered as long term endurance. So those who are possess the fast twitch fibers, they are the good athletes, they are good short runners. For example, in a 100-meter run or in any of the activities which is for the shorter duration. And those who are having slow twitch fibers, they are considered they are having a good endurance. So the fast twitch fibers fatigue quickly, because continuous movement after limitation, the fast twitch fiber, they used to get fatigued soon, the person used to get exhausted soon. Whereas the slow twitch fiber fatigues slowly. So it is been decided easily whether an individual is suited to the speed related events, or it has been events which are being related to the endurance, because the percentage of these fibers in the individual can be measured. So fast twitch fibers contract rapidly and produce maximum force. So you can see that maximum force is being produced by the fast twitch fibers which are in white in colors. So you can see that many of this in the diagram, the composition of the muscles is being shown in many of the pictures, where you can see the white part and the red part. You can see on the muscles. The white part shows the fast twitch fibers, and red part, when it is more in red part, that shows the red twitch fibers are more. That means that person is good in endurance ability. That means the person is good in long distance running, swimming, and that all activities. So whereas the slow twitch fibers contract slowly and produces the less force. So it is very much essential that the fast twitch fiber fatigue quickly, whereas the slow twitch fiber, they fatigue slowly, and that is good for the long distance runner. So for today, this much. These are the two components. You can prepare the notes on the basis of this. So for today, this much. We are going to cover in the next part. We are going to cover, let's see, the endurance, flexibility and coordinative abilities in the next part. So for today, this much. Thank you.